The transition of security from ISAF to Afghan forces is key to Britain's drawdown from the country. And with Lashkar Gah singled out as one of the priority areas, there's been some encouraging progress. In last night's programme, we saw how the town centre is under the security of the Afghan police in all but name. Tonight, Charlotte Cross goes to one of the more remote areas to gauge the situation there.
Getting ready to go out on patrol from Checkpoint Kuchian. This tiny remote compound to the far north of Lashkar Gah district is home to a small group of British soldiers, part of the 4 SCOTS battle group. Yes, good. They share it with just a handful of Afghan policemen. British soldiers continue to provide extra manpower here, but soon the Afghans will take over sole responsibility. Checkpoint Kuchian might be small and there aren't many ANP based here, but what it represents is huge, and that's the transfer of security into the hands of the Afghan security forces. The Afghan police are already operating independently, for example here conducting searches at a vehicle checkpoint. For the time being, they're still partnered and advised by British soldiers, with jackals providing extra firepower in case there's any trouble.
Working with them and bringing them along and showing them the way in which we do things, they're picking it up very quick, and at the moment they're leaps and bounds ahead of what I initially thought they would be. So it's good to see the actual progression in which they're making and actually seeing them doing the job, like your manny's over there.
Checkpoint Kuchian was only established 2 months ago. It overlooks the main road through the area and is a permanent security presence where none has existed before.
That has enlarged the security bubble for the ANP and has been a success story. The reaction of the locals in that area has been incredibly positive, and they all come and report that they feel a lot more secure, and the ability of the insurgents to intimidate has been hugely reduced. The checkpoint is small, so the British soldiers live side by side with the Afghans. Despite the cultural differences, they seem to get on well.
Yeah, it's quite good, to be fair. We've got a good bond with them, and if they go down like the bazaar, they'll pick us stuff up and that. But good morale, they're funny, and like I say, we've got a good bond with them. They are good people.
The ANP have suffered from a bad press, represented as corrupt, lazy and prone to drug taking. With more resources invested in their training, do they still deserve that reputation?
To be fair, when I come out here, I wasn't expecting much of the Afghan players, if I'm honest with you, but they're very professional and are good at their jobs alongside us. There's obviously bits they can improve on, but with what we was expecting when we first got here, then yeah, I'd say they're ready to take the job on.
The policemen themselves have doubts. They're not sure they have the manpower needed to hold this ground once the British leave them to it.
The enemy is scared of ISAF because they have good weapons and ammunition. If we were here without ISAF, the Taliban would attack us many times. We just need the manpower here now and the ammunition so we can destroy the enemy ourselves.
Critics say transition is being rushed through to achieve early withdrawal of British troops for political rather than military reasons. But commanders on the ground say transition is only happening at checkpoints like Kuchian because they're ready.
My feeling here is that the transition process is only occurring where it's right and proper and places are ready to transition. It's in no one's benefit to rush the process. And I don't think that is happening. I've seen no indication from my personal experience here of that happening. It's very much all the locations that are being put up for consideration for transition. The ANP in those locations are more than capable of operating on their own and are proving so on a daily basis.
If transfer of security to the Afghans proves successful here, it could be the blueprint of the future. Charlotte Cross, Forces News at Checkpoint Kuchian in Helmand Province.